Welcome, everybody to Island Fans. We have a special edition, special show this evening to discuss a topic that is rather controversial in the footballing community. There was breaking news today that a Super League, as you can see with the picture for the title of this stuff, a Super League is in the early stages of being formed. And 12 teams have announced the formation of this Super League. AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico, Chelsea, Barcelona, Inter, Juventus, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Real Madrid, and Tottenham are the teams so far to say that they are a part of this new Super League. So we brought some of the members of the team together to discuss this because there seem to be varying issues and just our feelings on it. And I'm just going to go out and just be controversial, as I usually am, and say, I don't like this whatsoever. Super League out. Hashtag Glazers out as well. I'm just tired of all of them. I'm seriously. I'm just going to try that out there. I'm just saying, right? I know different people have different views in that, but I don't like the feel of it. And I don't like the feel of it. This is my one main point. Is because of the fact that it's not based on merit. It's not based on merit. There's just this elitist status that because of who you are from past precedent, that we're just gonna all just sit in one league together and we can get relegated out of it and we just get boatloads of money thrown at each other. I don't like it. I'm like that's why I don't know how you guys feel.
Just to let you know, there's 8 places in the league that are based on merit.
Mm-hmm. And they have the 5. They think like 5 others or something, and the other was 6 others. What some of that are supposed to come in?
Yeah.
Well, they just tweeted about 3 other teams who are most likely to join within the next 24 hours or so, and that would be Porto, RB Leipzig, and Bayern Munich.
Oh, I heard Bayern are confirmed to join.
Yeah, I heard Bayern are confirmed.
Oh, okay. I've been following Fabrizio. He just tweeted.
I mean, guys, let me just go out here right now and say I am neither. I haven't picked a side yet. But if I was to, what I'm hearing, I don't see the negative impact for it. All right. The negative impact doesn't greatly outweigh the other side. So, I mean, I hear you talk about merit, Josh, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we look at what they're proposing, especially the financial implications of it, I think it will bode well. It will bode well for football in general, especially for the lower leagues in the English FA.
But you don't find it very particular that it happened during COVID. It's like them man strategically are using this to fill back the money that they lost because of COVID. I don't even think they care about football. I think they just care about themselves, you know. I'm a Man United fan, right? And we're not even in the Champions League. We don't deserve to be there. So how come we have an automatic right to just have it there, regardless of what we do? We can come 12th in the Premier League and still get to play in the most elite competition in the world. It just doesn't seem right. It seems wrong. It just seems wrong. You know, it's not fair. This is not fair. So home to Leicester. Leicester work their tail off, make the top 4, but they can't be in it because the coefficient is low. And they have to go through a harder run of it because of their history. It just doesn't seem fair. It just doesn't seem fair. What you're saying?
Right. Before you go quick, let me just read some from Fabrizio. Fabrizio just tweeted that founder clubs are going to receive 3.5 billion for the infrastructure investment plan and to offset the impact of the COVID pandemic. So, I mean, like I said, it's helping the problem that every team is going through. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, let me just start off. You all notice the Man City flag that normally behind me. I took it down just for this show because I am really disappointed that Man City is a part of this. Because let me just first go as off of a Manchester City fan point of view. And it really, I find it really ridiculous because let's say, you know, how everyone normally say Manchester City is a small club, and what becomes of all these things that have been putting in place for the future of trying to get a name out for yourself, trying to be that bigger club than Manchester United, trying to win all the titles and putting everything in place for that Champions League title that we have been wanted so long. I mean, what becomes of that all of a sudden? You just throw that all out of the door for a European club competition that what doesn't make any sense. So I'm just utterly disappointed by Manchester City on a whole and this whole thing because football is just going to become big shambles at some point.
Well, UEFA's vex, as you can see, and they have a right to be. And you can see they've already done said that they're going to ban. They don't go ban whoever decide they want to go and do anything, which is basically everybody else. And it seems like
But-
if nobody cares, nobody
Yeah, 'cause
they don't
Is it
care.
logical? Is it logical? If
It's
you
not
ban all those top teams, your league basically the nicest
Yeah.
way to put it, each individually gonna guasa.
Yeah.
Shambles.
Honestly. So
And-
as much as they come out in the moment and say, oh, all the teams who will be participating in the Super League will be banned. That's just something they're saying in the moment. I don't foresee that happening.
And guys, let me just read from the statement that the clubs put out. They're saying going forward, the founding clubs look forward to holding discussions with UEFA and FIFA to work together in partnership to deliver the best outcomes for the new league and for football as a whole. So, Jamal, I know you were making a point about this, that they're tagging these clubs as breakaway. But
Yes.
essentially, that's not the case. Go ahead.
Because initially, the breakaway came from the Premier League saying all these clubs are going to form a breakaway league. But
Mhm.
these clubs are contracted to the
Good,
For
Jamal.
example, Arsenal's contracted to the Premier League, and they are signing up to the Super League, but also they want to play in the Premier League. So it's not the Premier League saying, "Go ahead and do your thing." It's they have to ask permission from the Premier League to go and play in the Super League. And if the
Wow.
Premier League says, "Okay, you can play in our league and play in the Super League," it's fine. But then when you don't give them permission, and then they say, "Okay, but we're going to go play in the Super League," so now you label them as a breakaway club because they go against your wishes. But that's because you wanted money out of them in the first place. So, what do you think at the moment that the Premier League is tied to TV contracts, and they just signed a major deal that's going on for a couple of years, so they can't afford to lose any of these clubs going out because they'll face backlash from the TV rights perspective. They might even get sued. The only thing I can see happening is they pass on that burden to the clubs. But then, if the clubs find a way to breach the contract without any sanctions, then none of it will hold.
I was going to say the same point, Jamal. You make a solid point there that the EPL has a massive role to play in it. A massive role. But apparently Arsene Wenger already came out and said that if all the English clubs are going for it, then it's going to happen. Okay? It's just going to happen. But UEFA came with a statement today saying the clubs concerned will be banned from playing in any other competition at domestic, European, or world level, and their players could be denied the opportunity to represent their national teams.
No, tell me, does that make sense? The last part.
I'm saying.
Yeah, the national team
You're
part.
going to ban players from playing in the international competition. Who's England?
They have to do something, though, Jamal. They have to do. They can't just take a slap like that and lie down.
They're gonna have to let it go. I think UEFA and FIFA and the Premier League are not getting a slice of this pie, and they're retaliating.
You are so right. You are 100% right. Give me the facts
Guys,
quickly here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, BJ said football 1869 to 2022. You know what? I remember you with that one there. All right. It's a disgrace to what all the clubs stand for. Absolutely shambolic. I heard Gary Neville coming out saying the same thing. He's just like, from a United perspective, he doesn't believe in it. He doesn't think that the clubs that got the right didn't earn it. And then he was even making the point that if you look at football today, you realize how that doesn't make no sense. I'm not trying to slight Arsenal. This is not slight Arsenal time. But Arsenal draw 1-1 with Fulham, but yet Arsenal gets the right to be in the league and not Fulham automatically. And then Atalanta bang Juventus 1-0, but then they don't get the right either. Getafe draw with Real Madrid today, but they don't get the right either. The automatic right. You just, I don't know. That's the point he was trying to make.
But,
I think it'd be helpful to go through the entire joint statements to ensure that we are not. Go ahead, Jamal.
One thing, he made that statement, but what are UEFA planning for the 2024-25 season?
Thank you.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Where they're going to change the format and have teams being placed in the Champions League based on merit. Or not based on merit, based on their coefficient. So I don't see I think UEFA had this idea planned, took too long to implement it. Another company comes in and says, okay, we're going to do this. And
I hear JP Morgan or something, and trust me, is deeply involved in this as well too.
$5 billion behind it.
I heard 6. Yep. Yeah, exactly. 6 billion behind this. Just pushing opinions, but facts. Good point there, Eric knows definitely on this. And Memphis said money talks. It always does. This is just all about money.
You know what?
You know. Amija here agreeing with my point from before. Nathan saying what's up. Fabricio just tweeted that they're getting the money to offset losses from COVID. So this is all about just COVID. It's COVID. This is about.
I think COVID accelerated it.
Yeah, right? Definitely.
It wasn't talks from years ago, but COVID just pushed it over the edge.
I agree with you, because that was one of the points that a lot of the commentators are making, that it's a bunch of American owners, who want to have this American-like system, this NBA, MLS-like system. They're bringing them into our league, and then one of them making the point that isn't Villa owned by American owners, right?
Villa?
I think it is, right? Yeah, I think Aston Villa is owned by American owners. For check, and apparently they didn't like the fact that Villa could be relegated. They want a scenario where they're in a competition where they cannot be. Because that doesn't happen in the NBA. You know, if you come at the bottom of your conference, you don't get relegated to the level. It doesn't happen in this scenario. They don't want any scenario like that. Resume, I agree with what I said before. I said it makes us feel like all our struggle was for naught. Solid point. Solid point. They can have the Super League after in the post preseason period. Okay, all right. Memphis, Lamar, it hurts, because we fought for the position that we made it in. The reason all the moments that we went through had and was an impact was because of the stakes you were up against. True. Reggie Simon says, but then we do the players rest. He's talking about, but when do the players rest? He's talking about the whole having it in the post preseason time. You're right. They have to rest. He replies, it'll be the same as the other preseason tournaments. Okay. All right.
No, but that's not the case, though. It's going to be run concurrent with the league, with the Champions League.
It will.
Midweek games and finally.
But what Champions League? The Champions League dead now.
Bro, like if y'all really pay attention, this whole thing was designed to take down the Champions League, you know. Yeah, and like
destroy.
It's not coincidental that they launched this morning, the day before UEFA are supposed to announce their they reform for the Champions League tomorrow, like the day before. Good and point. I believe remember like sometime late last year they mentioned this and there was the big uproar and then it just went dead. I'm of the opinion that they basically allowed UEFA, they let UEFA know this is what we want, this is what we expect, and then they allowed them to go together, put their final proposal together and put it forth. And obviously they're not satisfied with it. So they let them know, well, okay, cool. Since this is what you're doing, all right, we'll be going forward with our Super League. That's just the way I look at it.
Right. Let me just continue to read from the statement that the teams who sided with this put out. The formation of the Super League comes at a time when the global pandemic has accelerated the instability in the existing European football economic model. Further, for a number of years, the founding clubs have had the objective of improving the quality and intensity of existing European competitions throughout each season, and each creating a format for top clubs and creating and players to compete on a regular basis. In recent months, extensive dialogue has taken place with football stakeholders regarding the future format of European competitions. The founding clubs believe the solutions proposed following these talks do not solve fundamental issues, including the need to provide higher quality matches and additional financial resources for the overall football pyramid.
Yeah.
Stop there. Then we can go into later. I guess later we can go into the format what they have set out for us already. That they're proposing.
The competition format they're proposing, yes, definitely. From the press release that they put out here, a couple more fans here saying that the top players for most of the Super League teams, though, I think from the most of the Super League teams, though, so the players have to fight back. So fix this. PSG, I think they've already come out and said that they're not bad with this year, that they're out, right? I think they've said that, haven't they? And
they haven't agreed to it.
Neymar, Mbappe. How do you handle that?
Bayern also said so too. I know Bayern are confirmed that they'll be joining.
Mm-hmm. So they go buckle into the pressure eventually.
And perhaps these players will want to join the teams who are participating in the Super League.
That is what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen.
True.
You know.
Also, with all the major teams out of the Champions League, PSG could win the Champions League easily. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be much of a Champions League.
I'm joining.
PSG go win the Champions League and then join the Super League.
Right. Yo, the man don't start. Twitter don't play now. Twitter, Instagram don't play. The man don't go about the memes, boy, of Mbappe and his 5th Champions League. Sitting there with like 5 trophies. Like, well, I guess I should go to Super League now. I mean,
I saw one as well was asking. When you have the goat comparison, they're gonna ask. So did they do it in the Super League though?
True stats. Oh man, I know, boy. And I haven't heard from. Have we heard from Dortmund yet? We haven't heard from Dortmund yet. So Dortmund's still in it.
They're out.
Let me make a next point here, right, fellas?
Yeah, big boss.
I mean, yes, I know all of us, we love seeing our big games. We're looking forward to PSG versus Man City in the Champions League semi-final. Mm-hmm. We're always looking forward to a Barca versus a Bayern game, Real Madrid versus United, and so forth, right? But then this Super League comes, right? I'm saying, as for me personally, as how much we love big games, I think it would come meaningless as well, yeah. After a while, because you're gonna have so much big games. I mean, which one do you focus on? Yeah. And like, which one do you give your greater impact? Not like you say you would have in the Premier League. You say, okay, once in a while, Man City versus Man U. You're looking forward to that on the 11th of January. Or you'll be like, okay, week after week, there's a big game, week in, week out, with a few more. I just think it wouldn't be of that greater impact that we hold the big games too after a while.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamal.
But you would still watch it though, right?
Watch what?
The game.
Super League.
Yeah.
Really?
You won't watch the Super League more?
I'm not sure about that though.
Yo, wow. I told Shaq this before, right? The moment I see Perez from Real Madrid, a president, me say, boy, some kind of badness of a god in the city. Some kind of badness of a god in the city, right? It's just like if them man have some kind of, like, y'all familiar with insider trading? It's like if somebody gets some kind of underground thing, and everybody listen to him, and he call up his friend, yo, Juventus dude, yo, after this, you know, and he call up Joe Glazer from Man U, boss, yo, I have a drunk to dinner, and the man just call up everybody, all the presidents, and call up, say, we going, who cares about Platini and, when I put in there, you wait for, and them, who cares about that whole setup, we just gone, we tired of them, and this is where we get more money in our pockets, so we fix all the issues that's happened before, because you realize how the Super League then would then affect even just transfers in general. Because remember, we were talking in the previous Island Fan Show about not being able to transfer players from one big club to the next. if and how it would affect the possibility of one league. So then then that means then you'd have to then get players from lower clubs, in order to suffice your transfer season. It affects everything. Kembe is saying KD beat Aston Villa and Bruno to West Ham. You go ahead. You see it happen. It just happened. Oh boy, a couple people here say Memphis here saying Bruno to win the Super League with the last minute pen. Of course. Mama saying it sort of removes a bit of that entertainment factor for those competitions. All right. And Brian Bias said, do we have enough information in the matter to decide what Saturday? Yo, you make a good point, but we're going based upon the information on the press release, what's given to us so far. And I'm sure that the press release, as most press releases do, they kind of feel out the direction where the people are going, and you're going to see some adjustments as things go on.
Exactly.
That's what's going to start to happen.
Yeah,
that's going to happen. Good morning.
Yeah, also with it, I think even there are football fans that are upset with it, and there's some football fans that are for it. I think everyone is just in the heat of the moment, and it's not helping with these statements that UEFA are throwing out and what Super League are trying to bring in at the moment, because I think it adds confusion now, especially with UEFA coming in and say, especially with the international duty, that they would ban players and not make them be able to play for the international team. I think that also caused a little bit more uproar. And I think at the moment, as much as we love our football, I think at this moment it would be better to see we let it slide past before we make any harsh adjustments going forward, because at the moment it's just a big back and forth between UEFA and Super League to see who come out on top.
Right. I think you're right. I think with especially those sanctions that UEFA and the Premier League and stuff and the FA has put out. It's just like, okay, now okay, you go do that. Okay, if you do that, then me do this.
Yeah.
Me go do this.
I think they're not even asking themselves, whenever we do have this sit down discussion, could this idea be beneficial? Because like you were saying earlier, Jamal, they're not trying to ruin the Premier League. They're not trying to ruin their domestic leagues. The domestic league will still run. They're trying to form a new league to run alongside the domestic league.
Yo.
That's what they say in the format here. That's what the format is.
I hear you. And again, what if, again, I said it's shock earlier, I say it again. What if this is just the early stages of ruining the major leagues? What if that is the case? What if they ultimately want one league, okay? And then they have the tiers start after that. What if that's all been set up?
I think that'd be rough.
With you're referring to like every team in football, they just have one big competition?
Because think about it. I heard someone today make a very valid point about how it's done in America. Look at the NBA, okay? The best team in college basketball doesn't graduate to the NBA. And it's not like if the best team in the G League goes up to the NBA either. It doesn't work that way. All right. You have the system and you have the two conferences. And then, of course, the top 8 make the playoffs and you win the title. That's how it is. You could have the worst season ever, but then you just stay in your league. They don't have any kind of system of promotion in America. They don't even have that. So then they're thinking to themselves that, well, the best teams in America play in one league. Why can't the best teams in Europe play in one league? And we don't have anything else. That alone makes all the money, billions of dollars. I know I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist here, right? But I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if that's the man in plan. That's all.
To be honest, I actually don't think that you sound that crazy, because it's not impossible that this could just be the start of something and then it goes to something else. But the thing is, right, with the whole Super League thing, when it first came out, immediately, based on the information that was present, I was immediately against it. But based off of everything that has come out today, that has been just coming out piece by piece, it's the less I'm against it, to be honest. I'm not, I can't say I'm for it, but I'm not as against it as I was this morning, to be honest. Because like it's at the point where I just want to see, like, get full details, see where it's going to go, and see what really becomes of it before I make a final decision as to yeah, I'm against it, or yes, I'm with it. The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole thing of, you know, like the big clubs being guaranteed a spot in it and not being relegated. I'm not a fan of that.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I'd be great. Go ahead.
In the beginning, when this was first initially stated, it said they'll have guaranteed 5 years of being in this league, and then it'll change. That's what I read like months ago when it first came out. I don't see what's wrong with having, yes, these teams form a super league. Why can't they be guaranteed to be in the league that they formed, at least for a while?
Because football has always been based on merit. Always.
Yeah. Okay, look at when they formed the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What happened when they formed the Premier League? Big clubs were the only teams in the league.
Yeah, eventually, but then they had this system of relegation and promotion, but they don't currently have that system. Well, I don't like it.
I think this is the teams that started the Premier League.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From Football League One. Yeah, and then I think it's 92 the Premier League started.
And if we're being realistic, when the Premier League was started, there was fight similar to what's going on now to the Super League.
I mean, and if you look at this picture, none of the big 6 teams currently are featured here.
What I have to say to this is just thank the big 6 clubs. If you want to kick them out, but thank them for putting the Premier League on a global stage at this point, and then hand it back to the founding clubs if it's that much of a big deal.
For me, guys, I think let me put it this way: if they're trying to demolish the domestic league, I'm not for it.
Same.
If they're trying to demolish, because I think, and like this, I mean, and they're saying here too that the domestic game is at the heart of football, and they're not trying to mess with that. They're not trying to mess with that. But if somewhere they're being sinister and they do mess with it, then I feel like if they're doing something that is against football, against traditional football. But I see this, if they're touting out a big figure, and I just think that this could help football go all the way down from the top to the bottom. I think it could.
There's an article somebody brought back. Shaq, Arsene Wenger said in 2020, European Super League proposal is a way of continental clubs destroying Premier League superiority.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, he said it.
Yeah, he did.
He did say that. Yeah. He did say that a while back. That was a while back.
As Shaq was saying, he came similar to the point that I was making, that it doesn't help with the same UEFA and the owners of this Super League are going back and forth with it. Because if you look at some of the things that UEFA has been throwing out, and I even have seen that from England, and Boris Johnson has been saying that these English clubs would be fined and they would be kicked out of the league and all of those things. So then automatically when you're hearing these things, and you've been hearing more of the negative impacts than the positive from this, you're hearing this, you'd be like, okay, football is shambles because what becomes of Premier League? Is it just the European competition? But then the other point I have to make is, how do other teams get into this European club competition system?
Yeah, that needs to be clear.
Okay, all right, let me read what they're saying here. The competition format: 20 participating clubs with 15 founding clubs and a qualifying mechanism for a further 5 teams to qualify annually based on achievements in the prior season. Midweek fixtures with all participating clubs continuing to compete in their respective national leagues, preserving the traditional domestic match calendar, which remains at the heart of the club game. And they're looking to start let me just read it. An August start with clubs participating in 2 groups of 10, playing home and away fixtures, with the top 3 in each group automatically qualifying for the quarterfinals. Teams finishing 4th and 5th will then compete in a 2-legged playoff for the remaining quarterfinal positions. A 2-leg knockout format will be used to reach the final at the end of May, which will be staged as a single fixture at a neutral venue.
Mm. All right, yeah. Look, as Joe said, and I think a lot of people would agree that they love the concept of being able to play this level of football. It's going to be good from the perspective of the fact that it's all the big clubs. I mean, Akani is saying everyone will definitely still watch the Super League in his opinion, and everyone will still be excited to see the big teams playing each other week in and week out. It's the big teams. He says it would just be disappointing if those are the only games that those players are allowed to be in every season. Yeah, I saw the point here. Memphis is saying Super World Cup next. You're probably right. Probably right there, bro. All right. No wonder City didn't get banned during FFPKs.
Oh boy.
Like that, yeah. Them guys were talking about it the other night. They were saying how ironic is it that City go under major investigation for the financial fair play, and then basically nothing comes out of it, and then the following season they throw financial fair play out the window.
Yep. I tell you, boy, you're so right there. Money talks. All right. Makani saying, "Hey, the Super League is also
quiet over there."
I didn't hear what you all said. I got cut
It's okay,
off.
bro. It's okay, bro. You don't need to hear that one day because then if you hear what you just said, then
I left that one for tomorrow.
yeah.
What is it?
When the
What's
video got
financial
uploaded,
fair
bro,
play situation?
go back and watch it over after this, right? All right. The Super League is allowing 5 extra teams to join them every season based on their performance over the last season, so it's not as exclusive as it can be. We know that. I did hear that from before, but I just don't think that's fair. I think it should be all of them. Work for your Super League. That's what I think it should be. But anyway, money and football politics is taking away from actual sport that I can agree with and can never agree with, regardless of the details of this situation. Yeah, there's a whole lot of. It's just about money because I know for a fact Joe Glazer, from a United perspective, them man keep about nothing but money. Okay, literally. But to be fair, right? FIFA is the same way. UEFA is the same way. EPL is the same way. All the leagues are the same way. They only care about money anyhow. So it's just that their man jumped the gun. Damian George, UEFA been doing a bad job with Champions League finances. Apparently, the big clubs don't get enough. They make the most. Okay, yeah, I remember they said so in the press release too that part of the reason why they're doing this is because it's an effort to get more money to the clubs and so forth. So they say it sounds like more money in people's pockets, because anyway, Shaq, you're saying that you should help the other clubs, right? And you should help, football in general. But to me, it just seems like more dividends for owners. That's what it seems
Right,
like to me.
and I think two guys. I mean, as bad as it will sound, football is a business, and it has been a business, and it is always going to be a business. And I think we know this, guys, especially Jamal, and Joe. Our owners, we know they don't care about football. They care about the profits and loss. Simply what it is. And in this situation, it's looking like way more profits and little loss.
Yeah, but then not just that. Like to what Risa was talking about, before you could single-handedly point out the clubs where you could blatantly see that they were more for business. Right now, it's becoming, it's everywhere.
So maybe COVID brought out people's true hearts. Maybe that's what happened. Rafael Lima says here, I'm sick and made. I guess go PSG. Burning Real Madrid jersey tomorrow morning. Wow.
Wow.
This is horrid. I will never watch the Super League. This is a betrayal of us fans at the most fundamental level. Wow. Strong words there. Strong words. But hey, what is it, Jamal?
How is it a betrayal of fans?
Because I don't know. Maybe you can explain that.
I guess he's saying, and of course he can come back and say what he say what he means. But I think what I'm hearing too earlier, Jamal, is that the fans feel as if football is no longer them. It's feel like, okay, you know what? It's just gonna be, they're just in this for the money. Then they feel like they should have a say in this discussion. That's one of the points I'm hearing. from other people.
But there's none of these clubs are fan owned. All these clubs have an owner, and all of them have given up their fan-owned shares, or majority of fans who own shares have given it up. So I can't agree with.
And Juma, you make a
fans gave up ownership of their club a while ago, and now want that.
Yeah, but you make a solid point.
I just can't. I can't see.
No, that's fair. But then Jamal, looking at it from a fans perspective as well, right? Well, for example, us as Arsenal fans, over the years, our owners have been quite content with top four.
Yeah.
All right, for years. Now, if you're going into a Super League where you're guaranteed a place in the league, like, who says they'll be competitive? So at the same time, you guys are telling me you'd be okay with us going into the Super League and coming 5th or 6th or 8th every season based off of the fact that we're guaranteed a place in it? Because if you can't get relegated, why do you need to really go all out?
I mean, what do you win? What do you win? I get what Joe is saying. I mean, when you're playing the Premier, when you're watching the Premier League, we want our team to be in the top 4 because we know what we get.
What we get, yeah.
We get. Participating in this competition, you get money, prestige.
Mm-hmm. This is why it feels like it's about money, bro. And I want to go back to before I got cut off. His comment is what made me think about what Jamal said there.
I was gonna tell you to bring that up.
This is what I was getting passionate about, because she's saying here big clubs are flexing the power that I think they have too much of. A league where they can never get relegated and will always qualify for. That don't matter me though. Look, right, you watch football, right?
It's a power move. Power move.
I have no issue with Real Madrid and United and AC Milan playing all the time. Great football, you want to watch that. But still, I just have a major issue with that. And I think Shaki made a powerful point earlier on. From a United perspective, I never liked the fact that these Americans came in and then they bought the club and they haven't done anything to say, look, right, we're all about the club. They don't invest the kind of money that they know the fans want. They don't even care what the fans and them think. And we as fans have nothing to do about it. If there was a way in which all the fans could come together and everybody put in their $1 and buy back United, we could do it. We would do it. We want back our club so we can have our own say. So that when one of the Glazer sisters decides she want to pull $12 million just to get a loan to go buy something that she want, and yet me can't get the extra 20 million to buy Jadon Sancho, me vex. I think that it goes back to that. That they're flexing their powers, and then they deciding all these things for us, picking and choosing what they want. And then no, they set up a perfect system where they can just do whatever they want, and they don't ever have to get relegated. So every year they're just raking more and more money. It just seems retarded.
I understand your rant, but it was very funny. I had to laugh.
I'm sorry, bro. Seriously, bro. It's okay to laugh, right? Because I'm really annoyed. I'm annoyed at these. I don't like these Glazers, and I just think that if you can get relegated, it brings accountability. It means you have to invest in your club.
Yeah, you're fighting for something. Agreed.
Yeah, you have to invest in your club, and then you have to fight for the spot. As opposed to, regardless of what I do, I get rewarded everywhere for mediocrity. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. So.
But the whole plan is for you not to play in this league alone. So you will be having a competition level, whether it's in the league or outside the league.
Go ahead.
If you get what I'm saying, you'd still be playing in the Premier League under the proposed rules.
Sure.
So you'd still be having a level of competition. So it's not like you're just playing in this league and just stagnating the whole time.
Yeah, but you'll still be playing in the Premier League, right? You're still playing in the Premier League. Okay, you win the Premier League. You come first, you come second, you come third, wherever. What were you playing for then? Because you realize if this is formed, then the Champions League is basically no more. So then,
Done.
What top 3 and top 4?
It doesn't.
What you get now? You don't get anything anymore.
Right.
That's
Right.
what
So
I'm
that-
saying and all, because let's look at, you see, like, let me use Arsenal as for an example. Let's look at Arsenal not having such a great season this year. What happens to, like, let's say that happens to Man City when it's form and Man City finishing like 8. You'll be like, oh, I finished 8, but I'm still in the European Super League. I'm that
Super
top
League.
notch
Yep.
team. You can't
Rewarding
talk to me. I'm in
mediocrity.
here. You know?
Yep.
Then what becomes of that?
I get that, and I get that point. That I mean, Arsenal can continue to come. Like for the past season, we've come 8, and we still in and around that position this season. So on this, if this goes to next season, we still play the European Super League.
Yeah, we
mean,
still
I
for the
get-
European Super League.
But then, sorry, there, Joe. Let me just finish. But then that I'm asking. This is a question. Would we, because of our place that we're finishing in our domestic league, do we then lose? Can we lose our spot? That's the question. Can we lose our spot in the European Super League?
Well, from what Jamal was saying, he was saying like the big teams are only guaranteed a spot for like the first 5 years or
years.
something. But then even for me, 5 years is a lot of time,
Yep.
Wow.
honestly speaking. So that's 5 years of Arsenal saying, all right, I can go and come 8.
That's a
No big
5 years
deal.
guaranteed
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
That's
but
a 5 years of guaranteed money.
To get your house,
right, Jamal.
to get your house in order, and then go
Yeah.
ahead, do all out
Yeah.
whoever.
That you can look at it that way,
Yeah,
right?
you can look at
So
I understand what you're saying.
basically they created a system to cover themselves cover themselves in the pandemic and post pandemic until they get to a point where the pandemic is no longer a problem.
I mean, yes, I guess you could say that, but then
No, that didn't look like 5 years from now. I
keep-
had a pandemic issue.
I keep looking at it as, even though, yes, we're looking at these teams and we're singling them out.
Mhm.
But I think that this move is not just for the big teams. They won't just benefit the big teams. It won't benefit the leagues on a whole, in all leagues on a whole.
Well, here's
That's
the
what I'm
question
saying.
here, bro. Here's the question here, bro, to you. And I guess it's to Jamal. Jamal, you can say that because you back a big club who benefits from this. What about the fans born and raised in places like the Celtics and Sunderland? That's what I believe Ad Raphael was referencing. All right. And he comes and says the history and tradition of the national leagues and the United European League with every team in Europe having a chance to qualify has existed all my life. I'm not ready to change this overnight. All right. Yeah, that's what he says here. All right.
Yep.
Damien George says the fact that the clubs believe that they have the power is shocking. Fans keep these clubs alive. Real slap in the face. I just don't feel, you're right. I agree with you. I don't feel like the fans had a say. They just do what they want. We should have a vote.
But
Let me just come in.
the fans don't need to have a say. I don't get why the fans need to have a say. You have clubs that have season ticket passes. They're selling season ticket passes with a wait list. If people decide they don't want season ticket passes, there's 10 million people behind you who will line up to buy season tickets. So why does the fan need to have a say in what competition the club plays in if there's going to be people that buy tickets anyway?
Let me
just
make a point on this. Just before we started, I was watching this podcast on the same topic, and they brought up, I think United at one of the ends of the stadium, they had that the fans, something about fans and football.
Football is nothing without fans.
Yeah, football is nothing without fans. So it's, I don't know. It's just a crazy, very crazy topic at the moment. I think it just why we as fans are reacting about this so much is because I think it just hits us with a big thump in the face just one time. It wasn't a little flick. It was just a big coming together all at once.
Yeah, that man just get up and just choose violence this morning.
Yeah. It's just pure violence.
Maybe the man had to act fast. Reese is saying here, the big clubs will get more money and widen the gap between them, and the rest of the smaller clubs will stay small. Big club balance is restored. Good point, though. That last line is a good point.
That's spot on there, Risa.
Yeah, boy, good point. But the thing is, if you look at other major sports like cricket or let's say basketball, it's the same or similar format, NBA and IPL. Yeah, I think that's what it's always been. They want it to be like that. They don't want it to be like that. And I think y'all make the same point that Moy made it. I think we should have been eased into this rather than dropped into it, because I don't think the NBA's is different. The NBA has never performed under that level. And I think with the way the current format has been with football, that they should have set up a system where that changes. And I just think I agree with you. I think this is going to change. When the Super League is going to happen, but I don't think the format that we see presented will be the format that it will ultimately end up being. I think there's going to be some changes. Shaq, you're going to say something?
I feel so as well.
I was gonna ask. So for Arsenal and Manchester United, we are currently in the Europa League fighting to win it, to get in the Champions League. And if they're proposing, because I mean they're earmarking August, not August 2022, August
2021 this year.
Oh, the man ready.
Why are we still trying to win the Europa League?
True.
Facts.
I bet some my youth squad, and then
Why
just hold on.
To win it?
Rest my Rashford and my Bruno for the rest of the season, because I'm playing my youngsters and them. Because what a point.
Which is why tomorrow will be telling, because even the Champions League as well. Why are City fighting to win the Champions League?
That's my same point also.
It's not going to make any sense at the end of the season.
Let me ask you a question here.
Man, just mess up everything.
Moy, before you go ahead, I do believe that when they release that statement and says they hope that UEFA and FIFA can also be on board with this,
right.
I do think that they're also planning on having those leagues running concurrent as well.
Yeah, they do, but they know that it's not going to happen. They know it's not going to happen. They man not plan for match them up long time now. They know it's not going to happen.
No, Josh, you see, when I don't think they're coming. You make it sound as if they're coming and say, boy, demolition. What we want on the high road. I don't think so.
Today, that's how we feel. With everything
you just tell your business now. You just tell your business now.
Right. Yes. And I think a part of structuring that business is at least not know. At least not know. To come in and mash up everything. Maybe they give them some time before they mash it up. But not right now.
This is a Donald Trump move, bro. Donald Trump move. The man is coming like in one hard slap and the keyboard nothing after the fact. Pure unadulterated business. This is all it's about. They don't care about nothing. Literally. That's not the man say. The man say, oh, so you feel. So you this that's all the money you plan to give me. Okay, all right. Watch me you.
We would never live in a world without politics and greed and stuff like that. I mean, okay, we say this now. We're in 2021. Maybe God's spare life and we live to 3021. We won't have another Super League forming. It's just gonna keep happening. I guess it's inevitable.
It happened before.
Let me ask you a question comparing the Champions League and the Super League. Y'all think it would be more prestige winning the European Super League over the Champions League for the big clubs? I mean prestige. Okay, yeah. If y'all think it would mean more winning.
I think so.
I know there's a lot of
big trophy.
Yeah, I know it will be a big team, so it would be like plus bragging rights in there. I have overcome all the big teams in one said league. But then let me just finish up. When you're just looking at the Champions League, I don't know if it's because I'm looking at it as a Man City perspective also, and I think it's because of that. Because we're trying to fight towards the Champions League, and I think it would mean more because it's been there for a long while. But then Super League also, if you win that, you'd be like, that's big top bragging rights because you win over a lot of big teams, Bayern, Real Madrid, all those teams. So y'all can give me what y'all think about that.
I think it's a bigger trophy because you're playing everybody twice. I mean, when in the current Champions League format, I mean, yes, you could play. You're gonna play in the group stages. You may come up on a big team in your group, and then you may not meet another really big team until the quarterfinals. So let's say you play that game twice. The one in your group, you play that team twice.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can play 3 big teams, and you win the league, and you win the Champions League.
Recently, you're
Right. In the
saying
Super
Jamal,
League, you
the
play.
fan, yeah. So the fans being absent in the stadium this season, and how much that has affected the game should be the reason why the fans should have a say. Sport was for us, and now it's for money. You know, and
But
I think. Go ahead,
it's been
Jamal. You
about,
have to answer
it's
her.
been about yeah, but it's been about money for the past 15, 20 years. So it's been progressively getting more about money. So this is just another marble in the in the nest. I don't think that it's much of a change with the fans. With the fans being out of the stadium as well, that's due to COVID. That's not really due to what you know them having to stay in the stadium.
Well, I think her point is that the point is the same point that she's making before. That fine, you're gonna do your Super League thing, but be honest with us about your reasons. Don't come like Perez is here talking about how the goal is to help all the other fans and Joe Glazer of our people talking about how ensuring world-class competition and facilities and increased financial support for the wider football pyramid. You really believe he believed that? You really believe he believed that?
Well,
I'm sorry. I don't know the guy personally. I don't know the guy personally, but that's a lie. And
so
then
they say,
I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, I'm saying so they say, but then like Moy was talking in terms of like the league, Champions League versus Super League. I mean, the Super League would be the bigger trophy based off of the fact that you don't have an easy road. You're playing big teams all the way, right? So it would be a bigger trophy for that reason. But then at the same time, you lose the wow factor of the possibility of like in the Champions League of a small team, unexpected team going all the way, getting to the finals, and maybe even pulling it off and winning the Champions League. You lose that part of it. So it does take away from the game. No matter how you twist it and turn it, it does.
And O'Neill says here the Super League is going to create a huge gap between the smaller clubs and the bigger ones. Yeah, a lot of people have been making the same point. It's here. It's here. It's going to happen. And
well,
good shot. Yeah.
Guys, do you think any good can come from this? Anybody?
I mean, I think he has potential, but then I'm just going back to the same point that I made earlier on the show, that you can't make any simple outright whether you're for it or you're against it right now, because both parties are not being straightforward with us. Because the side with the European Super League, they're saying they intended to help smaller clubs, but they're not giving us a reason or to say how are they going to impact the smaller clubs.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, with UEFA fighting, I mean, it's just crazy because UEFA saying they're not going to be in the Premier League, those type of competitions still. But if you're looking at it realistically, if these big teams are not in their respective leagues still and they kick them out, we're looking at watching our teams play like once every week, and what will become of football of that too, even per se.
Yeah, Corey Brown makes a point here. Prestige is also based on history. So Super League might have big team, but the history of UEFA League would still make it more prestigious right now. Champions League might lose prestige. I think he's going to die altogether. And Jamal, I think you made a strong point from before. That honestly, if that made to sit down with UEFA and then cut them man's a check, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Exactly. A lot of them drama wouldn't even be happening. I think them man, which is why I believe it's all about money. They might make up their mind, they go cut them out. They didn't even know what's going on. They get a massive press release saying this is what's happening, and then UEFA come over and say, "Well, we're gonna ban you. We're gonna ban you. We're gonna ban everybody left, right, and center." And then the other clubs is like, "Well, we don't care. Do what you want to do, but you need us. We have the power." Nobody's talking to anybody.
They're right. We do need them. And then
Yeah.
they're
I don't
not
think-
lying at all with that.
I'd say where it becomes a problem, where it's hard, is like what O'Neal is saying here. As for West Ham fans, you're in the CL spot now, and you wake up in the morning and you're hearing that all your hard work this season will just be gone for nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you go to the Champions League.
Or you still go to the Champions League if there is still a Champions League.
But who
But when
want
would
to
that
play
when would
the
that play
Champions
though?
League, Jamal? Who will play the Champions League now? You go into the UEFA League. You will go into the Champions League because you knew that I have a chance to play against Bayern and Real Madrid, and I have a chance to say that I beat them, and I'm the best team in Europe. You don't have that anymore. Nobody can play in there. They might make joke on Twitter the other day talk about how Sheffield United, and West Brom will create their own Champions League, and put it all together, and everybody just go do their own thing. Who want to play with that bandit? I mean,
we don't know that for sure. It hasn't come out to say there's going to be a cancellation of the Champions League. So I can't.
I know. Okay, fine. We say
At the moment, everything is supposed to run parallel and concurrent. You can't just say, okay, it's going to be West Ham winning the Champions League.
But I just don't think with that, Jamal, I just don't think there's time.
Well, it could be a competition.
Jamal knows there won't be time. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
He probably won't know. Jamal
They can work with
this.
Jamal wanted to know.
Sorry. Where's it,
If
Jamal?
If you can stick a World Cup in the middle of a season, there's always time for a new league.
Jamal get fully cut. Jamal get fully cut. You tell him, right?
That's it.
Them Abu Dhabi, Dubai people over there, but don't you get free cut down. You tell you, boy. Anyway, look, couple more comments so that we close. Shall you go say something?
No, go ahead. Bring up the comment.
Yusuf, one of my favorite things about Champions League or something like FA Cup was seeing a small team or team who's not as good as you on paper knock your hat tune in your yard. I know, right? That was just wonderful.
That's
but guys, when losses a team that's not when losses an underdog really won the Champions League.
No, but that was the point I heard today too, Shaq, that the dream of the cup is that it could happen. One guy gave the example, I think I told this, of Nottingham Forest, who were in the low leagues. And then they had got their manager and they rose to the highest at the time in the Prem. And then they won the Prem. Then they won the European League, the European League at the time. And then the following season they won it again.
Right.
Twice. They won it. But they're not considered it this. And on top of that,
years ago?
Yes, but the point is that they did it. It happened. Which proves that a little club can do this. That's the dream of football.
No, but then that's
romanticism of the game.
That's different.
No,
it's different in the sense that was before money ruled football. Before you had the Man Cities, before you had the PSGs with
Chelsea,
right? You have
Leicester.
Look at Leicester. Look at Leicester. They won the league, and what happened next?
No, but that's not the point. They won the league.
Yeah,
they won the league, bro.
Yeah, this is a league. But I'm just talking in the Champions League, guys. If we look back 10, 15 years, we keep talking about this underdog winning. Underdogs don't win the Champions League.
No,
okay. When you see Spartak Moscow win the Champions League.
But it could happen. It could happen because this football. Football is amazing. Look at RB Leipzig. Is RB Leipzig? They was created the other day. Which team was created the other day?
Yeah.
They were banging it out in the German league and banging it out in the Champions League.
And then look at Ajax. What was it? 2 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Final. But RB Leipzig, man, they're backed by Red Bull, and they just got money as well.
All right.
Yeah, and they're one of the teams proposed that apparently are going to be joining the Super League.
Yeah, I know. I see them in the shop. We gotta close though, but couple people. Let me see. She says, don't think they will get that in the Super League. Kanye says Champions League essentially becomes Europa League. Yeah, if it still exists. You're right. That's exactly what's going to happen in County. You're right. Everything just get knocked down a peg. And the biggest issue in the CL and Super League will be playing on the same day, and so CL will be losing revenue. They would be. So the CL will be the Thursday matches that everybody don't want to play, and the Super League will be the Tuesday matches that you want to play. That's what's going to happen now. We all know that's what's going to happen. But a couple of people, we have fans trending comments. But the Super League is created in greed, and also the bigger clubs becoming lazy. They don't want to fight for the spots anymore. They just want it to be given to them. And Shaq, the possibility of it happening is what I'm referring to. That's what people fight for, basically. Fight for it. Fight.
I get to your point.
And since Ajax ain't really a small club, and I can't guarantee you'll be more outraged if you didn't support. You'll be more outraged, he says. I can guarantee you if you didn't support the big clubs. And lastly, Pemberton says it also boils down to what certain players believe or want, as well as you want to have them have the team name, but not the prestige of players.
The players didn't have a say, right? If the players didn't have a say, the fans should have a say, and that trickles all the way down.
I mean, Jamal, essentially, nobody can tell you what to do with your summer, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
If you want a club, nobody can tell you what to do with it.
It's your thing.
Yeah, the players in them would have to all, unitedly get up and say, hey, now playing in a Super League, which is very unlikely. Exactly. When they hear about the kind of paychecks they'll be getting, that's probably out the window.
Yeah. Some fans are saying, though, it's created by the poor, but it's not controlled by the rich. The rich who don't love the game are deciding what should happen. We who love the game, regardless of money, none of us are getting the money from this. But yeah, we don't have anything to say. So we should just boycott them and stop buying jerseys and stop buying tickets and listen to what we have to say. But that never works.
There's not many things in the world that's left that's been just created and left to run. Somebody big always comes and buys it up with money and does something with it. You look at companies as well, fintech companies. It's created on a small platform, and then some rich guy comes in, buys it, and then uses it for something else. So it's just like Shaq was saying, football is just a business at the moment.
Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, the only reason that we can't see this not going through, as Joe said, that's if the players have an uproar. And if we don't see that from the players, because even if we look at the NBA with the whole Black Lives Matter stuff, when the players stood up and then that didn't happen. I think if the football players decide to do something like that, then we will see a different change. But as of now, and they do anything, it's a plan going through ahead.
I was PSG by morning.
I was talking
PSG.
I was talking to Joe earlier, and I think it's going to take more than players. It's going to have to take governments.
Yeah, I told Shaq that earlier.
And this
is the government and the players mainly.
I wanted to jump on this. I know we have to close, but guys, who's going to be in charge? Because I know the president, but if UEFA and FIFA are really, they don't want this competition, who's the governing body?
There's gonna be they have to create one.
Yeah,
and they're creating the rules.
Crunky and the Glazers in them.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what's going to happen. You have to create their own society, their own committee to be able to govern them. And guess what will really happen? I just money under the table. The man just do whatever they want. Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's already in the works to be created because all the 12 clubs have left the ECA.
Yeah, they have.
Association.
Yeah, so they have.
I do think that something's in the works to be created to rival that.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you guys for coming on and talking about this, and hopefully we'll get more information. And if you get any breaking news, I personally give literally by this time tomorrow PSG done in, right? And we can all better know how long it's going to take PSG to fold. Anybody say Tuesday, Thursday, next week, anybody? Because I literally I hope I'm wrong, right? But personally,
by the time you wake up, PSG in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, when
I mean,
name Neymar
if all the other big clubs going in, them man are going,
I
man.
do I have to do right? Neymar is going to make a call, right? And that'll be it. Mbappe is going to be like, yo. You know,
Arsenal can buy some big players now.
By what? Them man still not spend no money. You know this.
Oh boy, you grew right. Nobody can spend. Oh boy. Anyway,
Yeah,
but
you're looking at
again,
some team having the like how they pick the best 11 for the year. Something end up like that.
Watch you see Dortmund jumping now, boy. Hold up, Haaland. Look at trouble. Look at joke. Could they were fifth now? Something like that. Yo, look at joke.
Today.
Oh boy. Anyway, it's going to trickle. I was looking at this Villarreal. They're like 14 points from fourth place. All right.
Yeah. Villarreal.
Yeah, exactly. So if they don't win the Europa League, they're not going to get Champions League. Do they fall into the category of automatic spots? I don't think so.
No, I don't think they do.
All right, we'll see how that work out. Anyway, but ultimately, though, yes, of course. As you guys know, tomorrow night we'll be back here talking more football again as you work out the weekend's games. And hopefully we'll have some more information on the Super League because I have a feeling that all tomorrow is going to be talked about and we get some more information as to what is happening, more aspects of the board and more details and maybe even some more players coming into the foray concerning who's in and who's out. But all in all, though, it's been another Island Fans episode, another breaking news on this Super League. Thank you guys for coming in, listening to us, all the fans. Thank you for support. Please like this, share this, and tell your friends to subscribe to Island Fans. We have just a few more subscribers to hitting the milestone. So let's try to get there and tell everybody about this. And have a good night. Thanks a lot, fellas. On a Sunday night, thanks a lot for coming. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you for watching Island Fans. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when there are new videos and updates. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and like us on Facebook. Island Fans, for the passion of the game.